Hello, I'm SquidofLove, welcome back. Today we're gonna take a look at some of the cheapest ships in Elite Dangerous, ships that have a cost of under 1 million credits, and see which one is better for combat activities and mostly bounty hunting. Before we proceed, I would like to clarify that by 1 million credits I mean the cost to acquire the hull, the initial cost to buy the ship, and not in total in order to upgrade it and equip it the best modules. This will cost you around 2 to 4 millions depending on the ship and the loadout you want to build. I hope this is gonna be a helpful video for new players that want to work towards a certain ship for combat activities, and of course veteran players, more experienced players that want to find a cheap alternative to do some fighting, have some fun in the game. Before we go ahead with this video, let's talk about the ships we are gonna take a view at. Obviously we are gonna skip the Sidewinder and the Eagle because I consider both of them starting ships that will help you learn how the game is played and how you can perform certain activities. The Hauler and the other, although the other can be a nice fighting vessel sometimes, it is not destined for bounty hunt, it is not destined for combat, so we're gonna skip it along with the Hauler. I'm also gonna skip the Imperial Eagle mainly because of the lack of an extra medium hardpoint. It only has 2 small and 1 medium hardpoint plus 1 utility mount, so it won't be as good as the others. So we're gonna test the Viper Mk III, the Cobra Mk III, the Viper Mk IV, the Diamondback Scout of course, and the Cobra Mk IV, and see which one of these is the best combat ship for a traditional loadout, but also with an armor loadout. And we're gonna start with the Viper Mk III. Let's take a look at some important modules we want for every combat ship, and these are the power plant and the power distributor, how much power this ship will have if it can support enough weapons, enough strong weapons, and for how long it can fire. This is what the power plant and the power distributor are for. They are both class 3, and that means that the available power of the Viper is only at 12. This is gonna create some problems, but it is not the main problem of the Viper. The main problem of the Viper is the low capacity of the fuel tank. It can only take 4 tons of fuel. That means that you will have to stop every now and then in order to replenish your fuel, or you will have to waste one of your internal compartments, and the Viper doesn't have a lot of internal compartments, only 4. You will have to waste one of these internal compartments for a fuel scoop. The jump range is only at 13.44 light years with this combat loadout. I'm gonna equip all the ships with a similar loadout so we can have a proper test. The best generator we can equip, a shield cell bank and everything else, high reinforcement packages, or a fuel scoop if we really need it. And in the case of the Viper Mk III, we definitely need a fuel scoop. As for the weapons, 2 medium multi-cannons, 2 small pulse lasers, a chaff lancer and everything else shield booster. Despite the problems it has, the Viper in combat is an excellent ship. It performs very well and it has been my favorite combat ship for quite a while when I started playing Elite Dangerous. Although its maneuverability is quite decent at level 6, it's not one of these ships that relies on its maneuverability a lot. It has some really nice normal speed, its boost speed is also decent, so you will have to use that speed to your advantage, and you will have to learn to play like this. It is a nice ship that will help you learn how to play with other similar ships later, such as the Fer de Lance. It also has one of the best engine sounds in the game, and for me is my personal favorite. Something else we should mention has to do with the medium hardpoints. They are placed under your nose, so you will have to keep your nose elevated towards your target if you don't want to miss with your weapons that you have equipped over there, but that's not a serious problem. In general, it is a nice starting vessel to do some combat and learn how combat works, but soon you will want to upgrade to a better vessel with more capabilities. Let's proceed to the next ship now, which is the Cobra Mk III, and before we do that we should mention that all 4 ships we are gonna see from now on have the same class of power plant, class 4, and the same class of power distributor, class 3. That means that they have enough available power to be equipped with strong weapons and run them with pretty much no problem. They also have the same capacity of fuel. Their fuel tank can take 16 tons of fuel and this is gonna be quite easy for you. It will help you travel around without any real problem. But since the Cobra Mk III has enough air compartments, you can also go and equip a fuel scoop, even an A2 fuel scoop we can sacrifice in the air compartment for that purpose. You can remove it and go with a high reinforcement package. You won't really have any real problem traveling around with the Cobra Mk III. Its jump range is at 20.09 light years with this loadout. And as for the weapons, the hardpoints in general, I'm using the same loadout with the Viper Mk III before. The Cobra Mk III has the same maneuverability with the Viper Mk III. They are both at level 6, and it is a better ship to rely on its maneuverability than the Viper Mk III, despite the fact that it is also one of the fastest, if not the fastest ship in the game. Its boost speed can go up to 434 meters per second with this certain loadout. It is definitely a ship you wanna use if you wanna hunt down someone specific and destroy them. A drawback of the Cobra Mk III is the placement of the small hardpoints, which are under the hull, but they are too far one from each other, and that means that it won't be possible to use fixed weapons on these two hardpoints and fire with them simultaneously. So you will be kind of forced to use gimbal weapons on these two small hardpoints, but you can use fixed weapons on the medium hardpoints, which are placed in front of the cockpit. The Cobra Mk III overall is a very nice combat vessel that can be used for other activities as well, so if you wanna have a ship that can perform a variety of activities without sacrificing anything, then this is gonna be your best option. Next one is the Diamondback Scout, and I have to say that this is my favorite on this price range. It is very similar to the Cobra Mk III. It is the second fastest ship from all these 5 ships we are gonna see. Second fastest normal speed after the Viper Mk III, and second fastest boost speed after the Cobra Mk III. Its jump range is 22.16 light years, slightly better than the Cobra Mk III. Again, it has enough air compartments so we can sacrifice the class 2 air compartment and place a fuel scoop. We won't have any real problem with this loadout to travel far and find combat opportunities. But we should also mention that this is the only one of the 5 ships we are taking a look at that has 4 utility mounts. This will help the Diamondback Scout to build a somewhat stronger shield and help it endure fire from its opponents. The placement of the hardpoint is also perfect. We can use all 4 hardpoints with fixed weapons and have no problem hitting our targets. The Diamondback Scout also has the best maneuverability out of these 5 vessels. Its maneuverability is at a level 8, and that means that we can rely, and we should rely on that maneuverability to stay close to our targets and destroy them with our very good fixed weapons or gimbal weapons. I keep suggesting fixed weapons because they deal more damage than gimbals, and they are very easy to be used with a vessel like the Diamondback Scout. It is definitely an excellent option for bounty hunting and combat in general. And it is time now to start looking the Mark IV versions of the Viper and the Cobra. We're gonna start with the Viper Mark IV. In general, these 2 Mark IV versions of the Viper and Cobra are tankier and slower. They're not the best option as far as speed and maneuverability goes. They both have level 4 maneuverability, and they definitely are not fast. They have more internal compartments than the original designs, and the hardpoints are pretty much identical. The Viper Mark IV, with this loadout, we could remove again one of the high reinforcement packages and equip a fuel scoop if you wanna travel around. Has a jump range at 19.71 light years, which is not that bad. Although the firepower is decent, pretty much the same with the other 3 ships we have seen so far in the Viper Mark IV, the problem is the maneuverability, the lack of maneuverability and the lack of speed. It is apparent that you will struggle against more agile ships that can turn around very fast, like this Imperial Clipper does. The Viper Mark IV seems to be a better option against heavier and slower ships that can turn around very fast, but it is definitely not the best option when you are dealing with more agile and faster vessels, like in this case. It is not a bad vessel for combat, but there are others that are better. Last, and I wish I could say not least, is the Cobra Mk IV, a heavier version of the Cobra Mk III. It is also the slowest vessel out of the 5 we are checking. It has the slowest normal speed and the slowest boost speed. It has more internal compartments than the Cobra Mk III, and that means that you could make a nice armor tank if you want to add reinforcement packages, or you could replace one of these packages for a fuel scoop and have no problem traveling around. Its jump range is not the best at 16.32 light years only. It also has one extra small hardpoint. It adds some firepower, but it doesn't add enough firepower. The problem with the lack of maneuverability is more apparent in the Cobra Mk IV than the Viper Mk IV, for example, and this is because the Cobra Mk IV is heavier than the Viper Mk IV. If we add the lack of proper speed, the fact that the Cobra Mk IV is slow, then this is not a good option for bounty hunting, for combat in general. Pretty much everything will be able to escape from you. The addition of one extra small hardpoint, it doesn't add enough firepower to compensate for these two drawbacks. So it is quite obvious that the best out of these 5 vessels in traditional loadout is the Diamondback Scout. It has the best combination of maneuverability, speed and firepower. It is an excellent ship that can travel you far away, find you good combat opportunities and make you a lot of money out of bounty hunting and other combat activities. But let's go ahead now and take a look at an armored loadout. Which one of these vessels is the best if we skip shields entirely and go with only high reinforcement packages? In this case, if we remove the shields and add only high reinforcement packages and a military grade composite bulkheads, then surprisingly the Cobra Mk IV is the winner. It does have the same problems with maneuverability and speed, but it has slightly better firepower thanks to the extra hardpoint, small hardpoint, and it has the best armor out of the 5 vessels we are checking. So if we go ahead and take a look here, we can equip them all 5 with the same similar loadout, high reinforcement packages, military grade composite, multi-cannons as weapons, chaff launcher and hit launcher whenever we can, and we can see that the Cobra Mk IV has the best armor, 2640 armor, which is quite strong. The second best vessel is the Cobra Mk III with only 1980 armor. This is a very big difference between the Cobra Mk IV and the Cobra Mk III, and obviously the more internal compartments it has helps the Cobra Mk IV in this loadout. The Viper Mk IV has 1935 armor, the Diamondback Scout has only 1390 armor, but it has 2 extra utility mounts, so we can make a nice combination of 1 chaff launcher and 3 hit launchers, or 2 chaff launchers and 2 hit launchers. This is a very nice advantage for the Diamondback Scout if you insist in using one, and sadly the Viper has only 1K065 armor, so we can forget about it for this kind of loadouts. By only using multi-cannons with this loadout, we can have our pips, 4 pips on the engine all the time, and this is gonna help us with the problem of maneuverability and speed somehow. And of course, if our target turns around and starts firing at us, we have a lot of armor, we can endure a lot of fire from our targets. This is a very good loadout for surprise attacks, and you can even use silent running to fool other players. The fact that the Cobra Mk IV has the best armor makes it a very nice choice for this kind of attacks and loadout, but you can use one of the other vessels and take advantage of their better maneuverability and speed despite the fact that they don't have the best armor. Thank you very much for joining me watching this video. I'm SquidofLove and I will see you next time. Bye bye.